up, beautiful people, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Crystal, this is Bond Book Reviews, and today I have a little sneak peek at how this one's going because she doesn't want to go upstairs and read a book with her daddy. She wants to be a part of the video. So today we are going to be doing the Australian book tag. This tag was originally created by Happy Comes First. I will link them down below. And I was tagged by the lovely Mel from a book fiend named Mel. And what it does is it asks a bunch of... We're doing renovations at the moment. She's found screws. Hold on.
No, you can't play with a screwdriver.
Okay, so we have passed her off to Anthony. She's finally agreed to go upstairs. So what we're doing today is the Australian book tag. As I said, this was originally created by Happy Comes First. I will link them down below. I was tagged by the lovely Mel from a book fiend named Mel. And I am going to be tagging some people at the end, so stay tuned and I'll let you know who I'm tagging. But how this works is it is a bunch of really cool questions based around Australian themed things. It's really creative, and the people that I am tagging all don't live in Australia, so it'll be really, really fun to see what answers they come up with. So the first question is Koala, and this is a character that you just want to hug all day long. I could not go past this, but I couldn't pick which one of the characters I wanted to choose. And that of course has to be Nick and Charlie from Heartstopper. I read book 5 recently in this series that just came out, and I still just want to hug them every single time I read this story. So 100%. If I had to pick one, I would probably go Charlie, but I don't know. I love them both equally, and they are definitely characters that I would want to hug all day long because every time I read this story, I just want to hug the book when I'm finished. The next question is Vegemite. For those of you who don't know, this is like a tangy, fun. It is a tangy spread that kind of tastes a little bit like beef stock is probably the only thing I can describe it as. It's a savory spread that you put on toast with a little bit of butter. It's really, really good, especially for hangovers. And obviously most Australians love it. A lot of people from overseas either eat it the wrong way or just don't like it. So for this one, this is a book that you love, but everybody else does not like. And of course I have to go with Ice Planet Barbarians for this one. I mean, I've tried and I've got a few people hooked on this, and like, in my understanding, it's like you can convince a few people to try Vegemite and really enjoy it if they eat it the right way. Ice Planet Barbarians is that book for me. So a lot of people will not like this, will not be interested, and that's why it's my Vegemite book. So Socceroos, which is the Australian soccer team or football team, depending on where in the world you're from and what you refer to it as, is the question of your favorite bookish squad. And for this one, I have to go with the characters in Nevermore. They are a great group of people. They are a fantastic squad. The 4th book in this series comes out soon, and I'm so excited for it. The publication date keeps getting pushed back, and I am so excited to jump back into this world. I absolutely love the squad that is in here. They're very, very similar to like Harry Potter in terms of the fact they're not necessarily a squad, but it's like a group of friends, so I still count it. Next up, we have the Southern Cross. This is obviously an accumulation of stars, so our latest 5-star read, and this one I have to go with Death and the Conjurer by Tom Mead. This was a recommendation in a readathon that I recently did, Get a Clue readathon. It was one of the host's favorites, Leandra from Leandra TR0. I adored this. It took me back to my roots of really enjoying like Sherlock Holmes-esque stories. It's like a locked room mystery, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed that. So that's my latest 5-star read. Next is Patriotism, and for this you need to pick a book that is your favorite book from an author where you are from, like from your country. And obviously I had to go with J. Christoph. He's one of my favorite Australian authors, and I have to go with Illuminae because it's my favorite series by them. It is also written by Amy Kaufman as well, who's another Australian author that I adore. So it kind of was really fitting that when I had to pick a Australian author that I favorite, that I picked one that had 2 of them in one. So Illuminae is definitely my favorite from a Australian local author. Next is an echidna, which if you don't know what that is, I will put a photo up on the screen for you. Very similar to a hedgehog in that it has spikes that you don't really want to touch. So for this, we are reading a book that you like the look of, but that physically hurts to read. This could go one of 2 ways. You could kind of have like a book that you was like a cover by, but you really, really hated reading and was like a struggle to read. I personally went with a book that every time I look at it, it makes me happy, but it physically hurts to read it because it also breaks my heart. So I had to go with Marcus Zucker's The Book Thief. This is the movie cover, which is still phenomenally beautiful and stunning, but it's not like as good as the original cover, but my original cover unfortunately got damaged. But this is one of my favorite books of all time, and every single time I look at this cover, I get like that warm, happy, enjoying feeling that you get from a book that you know you're gonna love no matter how many times you jump back into it, but you know you're gonna cry and like be physically heartbroken every single time. So that is why this is the echidna for me. Next up we have Ned Kelly. If you don't know who Ned Kelly is, look it up. He's a very like infamous Australian legend. You would probably recognize him from this photo. But this is a book really grim, but it is also a iconic must read. And for this one, I have to pick The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. This is the hardback edition, which is just stunning. It's really basic, but I love this edition. This book and the movie itself is just one of those iconic reads that you must read but will destroy you. So it's very, very grim, but very, very iconic, great read. So A Great Barrier Reef is our next prompt, and for this you need to read a book that had you gaping in awe. Well, for this I have to go with Tate James. Their Madison Kate series, the first book is Hate. It's just getting new covers, which make me drop open my jaw anyways, but then when you read the content of these books, this is a like reverse harem with this like mystery thriller element behind it. It's kind of like forced proximity, hate to love kind of situation. And then there's just like these huge cliffhangers at the end of every book and a really great wrap up at the end. And like it's almost impossible to choose which one's your favorite. And there's so many moments where you're reading it and your mouth just like gapes open. It's one of my favorite like smart series of all time, and it's because the plot in it is so phenomenal. Next up we have Pavlova, which if you don't know what this is, look it up, try and make it this Christmas and thank me later. It is a Australian dessert that we always bring out at Christmas. It's pretty much it is like, I guess like a beaten egg white with sugar that is then baked into like this crusty crumb, which then you put whipped cream and fresh fruit all over, which obviously if you're on the other side of the world, that's probably not a great dessert for the middle of winter, but I guarantee you it is phenomenal. You should definitely try it. So it's like meringue. I was trying to think of what crispy egg white is. Meringue. So it's like a meringue layer with whipped cream and like fresh fruit. Pavlova, phenomenal, delicious. Definitely try it. And for this one, I had to pick a light and fluffy book that I cannot help but love. And the one that I had to go for this when I looked at my shelf that jumped straight out at me was The Improbable Theory of Anna and Zach by Brian Katcher. I think it is, yeah, Brian Katcher. This made me laugh out loud. It's a fun YA like romance situation between two people that are thrust together in this really weird situation at a, what is it called? Science fiction convention. So it's like this fun convention. Nerds all everywhere. She's like the good student, he's like the slacker boy. They end up together at this location and have to like work together. Super fun, super funny, super relatable for any nerds in your life. So definitely love this one. And last but not least is Milo. Again, if you have not tried Milo, see if you can get it from Amazon sent to you and try it. And the correct way to do Milo, and if anyone argues me against this, is to do half a glass of Milo and half a glass of milk. You want it to be thick, like otherwise you're just wasting your time. There's no point making a Milo with like 1 scoop of Milo and the rest milk. It's just a waste of Milo. The only time you do that is if there's only 1 scoop left in the jar. Anyways, try Milo, it's great. But for this, we had to pick a book. For this, we had to pick a genre or an author that you go to get you out of a reading slump. And for this one, I mean, you guys could all guess. I'm gonna give you a chance, guess below what you think my genre is. And without further ado, it is of course smut. Like, it is my palate cleanser, it is my go-to to get me out of a reading slump. Anything that has that in it that is just mind-numbing, doesn't require a lot of thought, but has some likable characters, easy to read, doesn't require a lot of brain thought, is great for getting me out of a reading slump, especially if I am in a reading slump because of this big epic fantasy. My go-to will be smut. However, if I've done too much smut and I need something to get out of my smut reading slump, then I will read a thriller. thrillers are my go-to second to kind of get me out of a slump. So there you have it. That is the Australian book tag. I would like to tag the following people to give this a shot. I would like to tag Neva from Reading with Neva. No hurry, I know you're in the process of moving at the moment. Just get to this tag when you can. Britt from Brittany Loves Reading. I just forgot your tag, I'm so sorry. Yeah, Britt from Brittany Loves Reading. If you haven't already done this, you may have already been tagged. Kelsey from Reading with Kay. I'll probably also tag Rainy from Rainy Blue Reads, and I'm going to tag one more. I'm going to tag Michelle from Michelle's Library because I think she would do a really fun job of this. So they're the people that I'm going to tag in this. I hope that you guys have fun trying to decipher the Australian things to come up with a book that hits the prompt. And if you do want to do this tag and I haven't tagged you, consider yourself tagged, and just tag me so I see that you do it. And if you don't have anything to say in the comments after all of this craziness that I've rambled at you, but you still want to feel like you're a part of the conversation, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up and drop a Australian flag emoji in the comments to show your patriotism towards Australian book tag. And without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend and happy reading. Bye.